Hey everyone, it's Kelly. I'm back today with a double page 12 by 12 Project Life process video. It's been a long time since I put up a Project Life video and I'm so excited to be back with one. Project Life is definitely my go-to and my favorite form of scrapbooking at the moment, so I'm happy to be back with a new video for you. This week I'm working on week 32. I have fallen very, very far behind in my project life, so I'm still in the midst of documenting summer, which I'm desperate to get to fall because I am really wanting to use fall products right now. But I don't want to jump around in my project life because I'm worried that I will never get back to the weeks that I skip. So I'm gonna go ahead and just move forward and get these months done and hopefully get caught up quickly. Now, I am using a Hip Kit Club Pocket Life card kit today, and I have mixed together a few different months. I think that this is maybe July and August, and I did add in one card from my stash. So on the left-hand side of the spread, in the middle column, that yellow orangey color card is a card that I pulled in from my stash, but I do believe it is a Hip Kit Club card as well. I used to be part of the Hip Kit Club design team, and I received the Pocket Life cards when I was part of the design team. So I'm pretty sure that was one from then. So that would have been back in 2015 or 2016. At the very beginning of the video, you saw me fussy cutting one of my photos. That is a picture of a charm that I received from Weight Watchers when I hit my first goal, which was 5 pounds. I have since lost almost 20 pounds, so I'm really excited about that. But that was the first charm I received. And I took it in my kitchen, so my floor was showing in the background, and I really wanted to use an additional card on the spread. So I decided just to go ahead and fussy cut around my hand in the card, and I'm going to add it to that 3x4 card that has that gem. Now, I went through some of the products that were included in Hip Kit Club's kit. I do bring in a little bit from my stash. That is one thing that I really like about Hip Kit Club. Their cards are exclusive, but they're designed to match product that you can buy that's out on the market. So at scrapbook.com or wherever you normally buy your scrapbooking supplies. So I liked that I was able to mix in a little bit of my stash. These puffy stickers that I'm looking at right now, those were included in the kit. These florals, I believe, were from my stash. And then I think everything else that I use other than the stamps were a part of the Hip Kit Club kits. So I'm just going through embellishments, just trying to figure out what's going to work here and there. I am going to create my own filler card, which isn't something that I do a lot of. I've mentioned in past videos, I struggle a little bit with that, but I'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the video. Right now, I am working again on that card that I had fussy cut the photo, and I want to add some stamping. This is a stamp from Studio Calico, and it says progress over perfection, and I'm going to stamp it underneath my hand. Now, I wish that I would have adhered down the photo before I stamped, because I end up shifting the photo a little bit when I press the stamp down, and then when I go to adhere the photo, it doesn't line up quite like I wanted it to. So I end up adhering down the photo, and then I have to go back to that stamp set, and I'm going to re-ink the stamp set and stamp again. This time the stamp is going to overlap my photo a little bit, which I'm totally fine with, but if I would have adhered down the photo first, I would have saved myself that additional stamping. Now I'm going to shuffle through some die cuts just to find some leaves that I can add with this floral. I wanted to add some additional pops of blue because I do have some other blues going around on the spread, so I thought that would be a nice way to incorporate a little bit more of that color. Now I'm moving on to this card here. That is a screenshot of a book that I read, and I'm going to use some Carrie Bradford stamps just to add some stamping. I will add some journaling a little bit later on to that card, but I'm going to add the word read, and then I'm also going to add the word worth reading in that little box on the bottom of the card. Next, I'm going to move on to the card that is on the left-hand side of the spread. That is the card that I said that I pulled in from my stash. I had already added a puffy sticker to that from the Maggie Holmes Sweet Story collection. And now I'm going to add the stamp that says Weekend. That is a citrus twist stamp. I will have links to all of the stamps that are still available in the description box below. So if you're interested in checking out the stamps, I will have those there for you. Now I'm going to add another word from that same stamp set, or I guess a couple words from that same stamp set. It says fun times, and I'm just going to add it underneath the remember this that was already pre-printed on the card. This card ties in with the photo that is next to it on the left. That's a black and white photo of my son and my niece. This picture was taken on the last weekend of summer break. So he had his cousin come stay the night, and I'm going to stamp a sentiment that says Sweet Saturday Morning right onto that photo. Photo was taken when they got up in the morning and were having breakfast. Now I'm moving on to this photo, and it may be difficult to see on the screen, but it's actually a photo that I took inside our house looking out our window. And I added some journaling to the photo before I printed it. We had a tornado warning this day, and I just journaled a little bit about how storms don't normally bother me, but I was a little bit uneasy when this storm went through. It was just kind of eerie, and my son and I were home alone when it happened, so it was a little bit creepy. Now I'm adding a stamp to this journaling card, and that stamp is from Studio Calico. It said the word sunset, so I stamped it in the middle of that sun because the photo it will go with ties in with the journaling that I'll add about the sunset that day. I have another sunset photo here that I'm using the same stamp set with. It says Chasing the Light, and I just added that directly onto the photo. I love how that turned out. It fit perfectly in that area between the trees. Now I'm moving on to another sun photo. I had a lot of weather-related photos this week, apparently. And this is an old stamp set from Ali Edwards. I don't believe it is available anymore, but they're these skinny word strips that have different sentiments on it. And I think this one says Perfectly Lovely. And I'm just going to add it to the photo right above the journaling that I pre-printed. This photo was taken at the park when I went on a walk, and I just talked about the podcast that I like to listen to when I go on walks, and that I enjoy the quiet time when I am out on my walks. So I decide that I'm going to go ahead and washi tape together these two photos. I found a sentiment on the Sweet Story 6x12 sticker sheet that said sweet, and I thought that it would fit perfectly along those two photos. I think I printed these together on a 4x6 sheet, but I wasn't sure if I was going to put them in 3x4 pockets. So I cut them apart, so it would have saved me a little time if I just would have kept them together, but you never know how things are going to come together. So I added the word sweet to the photo and then added a heart puffy sticker. Now I'm going to move on to that filler card that I told you that I was going to create. I grabbed another sticker from that 6x12 Sweet Story sticker sheet. It almost looks like washi strips that are made into a frame, and I added it onto a 6x8 piece of paper from Citrus Twist. It was this pink color that matched the other colors that I had on the spread. I'm going to fussy cut it out, and then I'm going to add it onto that journaling card that has all of the stripes. This card goes with the photo that is next to it. It's going to be in a 4x6 pocket, and it is a photo of myself. It's actually a screenshot that I took. I celebrated 16 years at the dental office that I work for, and this past year blog posts were written for all the team members that celebrated anniversaries, and this was just a screenshot of the graphic and then the link to the blog post and a little bit of a blurb about what I do for the office. I'm going to add a sticker from Dear Lizzie to that sunset photo that says Hello Sunshine. I'm really all over the place with this process video and putting together this spread. I had not made a Project Life process in a while, and I felt a little rusty. So I apologize that there's so much bouncing around, but if you've watched my past videos, you know that I tend to bounce around a little bit anyway. That's just kind of how my workflow goes. So now I'm moving on to another filler card. This card has a little picture of a dog. I don't know if it's like a Chihuahua or what, but it has that rolling on the floor laughing graphic printed on the card, and I didn't really have a need for that part of the card. So I grabbed a couple labels from my stash. I believe these are printables from Ellie's Studio. And I used one of the labels to type my journaling, and then I'm going to use the other just to back the label that has the journaling, just to add another pop of color. Then I found these word phrase stickers in my stash, and they're all dog related. They're from Studio Calico. I've had them a really long time, so I'm just going to add a couple of those to help fill out the rest of that journaling spot. I'm using that same Ali Edwards stamp set to add a glimpse of today to the journaling that I have on that journaling card. It ties in with the two photos that are going to be next to it. It was just kind of talking about how that day I did a lot of chores around the house, and then I took a little time after chores were complete just to hang out on the back porch and to kind of soak in the weather. I'm going to add some puffy stickers to a few places around the spread. I used another stamp from Citrus Twist to stamp onto that label, and I added a rainbow puffy sticker, and then I also added a bow sticker to the camera that is on the right hand side of the spread on that speech bubble journaling card. These cards, it was the first time I had used cards from Hip Kit Club in the way that they're designed to be used, where they're designed to be used on pocket pages. When I add journaling using my typewriter, I run it through on a piece of copy paper, and I use washi tape to hold down the card to the copy paper. And I noticed when I pulled the washi tape up from these cards that a lot of the printed items on the cards, or the pre-printed items, the color would lift with the washi. I've had that happen with some cards from some companies that I use, not all of them. So I wasn't aware that was going to happen with these cards. So I'm definitely a lot more careful about where I put my washi tape when I'm running it through my typewriter. Now I'm going through and I'm just adding some little bits and pieces here and there, just where I think I need extra pops of color. So I went back through the items from Hip Kit Club and added some puffy stickers here and there, some stars. I did add a like puffy sticker to the pictures of my dogs on that journaling card that ties in with that photo. Now I want to add a stamp to the photo that's on the very right hand side of the spread. So it is a photo that I took from my kitchen, kind of looking down through my dining room and into my living room. The vacuum's there. I think that my dust rags are there. And it just was used to represent the chores that I did that day. And I grabbed a couple different blue inks. I was trying to match the blue in the leaves from the Maggie Holmes Sweet Story collection. I found a color that worked well, so I typed out today's chores and then I just fussy cut it, and I'm going to add it directly to the photo, almost using it as a die cut. I love adding as much texture as I can to my Project Life spreads. I think because they're, individual little pieces, they're tucked down in these pockets, so the more texture, the better. So I'm going to grab my tiny attacher, my mini stapler, and add some staples here or there. So I add one to those labels. I'm also going to add one to the census screenshot. And I just absolutely love that card. It could not have worked more perfect. So on that screenshot, it says everyone counts. And I love how there are the different hands raised, and I just thought it was absolutely perfect. So I am so happy I was able to use that card. And I'm still shuffling things around. I shuffle these cards around, I think, more than I've ever shuffled around cards before. I was trying to get things balanced. So I know that I'm going to add some black puffy stickers to my title card that's on the left-hand side. So I'm trying to balance out where my title card is, the word yay, and then the word sweet. I want to create a visual triangle, but at the same time, I want to create a visual triangle with the hot pink color that I have going on. So that gem that has my Weight Watchers photo, and then the florals with the washi frame, and then that word sunshine. So I was trying to position everything around. I have a lot of white on the right hand side of the spread with the screenshots and the journaling card, so I was trying to make sure I didn't have too much white paired together. So there was a lot of shuffling happening. I am going to add another sticker from the 6x12 sticker sheet that says my lovely life, and I add it right underneath the week number, which I think acted as a great shelf for the week number. Now I'm just going through that sticker sheet again, just trying to find some, again, pops of color, just some different things to add. So after I get those little embellishments added, I do a lot more card shuffling, which I'm not going to make you watch, but I will include some still shots at the end of the video so you can see how the cards actually ended up at the end of the spread. So here are the still shots. Again, I will have links posted in the comments or in the description box below. So if you're interested in checking out any of these items that I use, whether it's Hip Kit Club, stamps, die cuts, stickers, whatever it may be, they're there for you in the description box. So I do, again, want to thank you all so much for watching. I know I say this week after week, but if you enjoyed this video, I really do encourage you to give it a thumbs up or to leave a comment. I use the likes and the comments and the views to know whether or not these videos are worthwhile in making and that people are enjoying them. So any feedback that you give is greatly appreciated. Again, I do appreciate it so much. I can't stress that enough, how much I enjoy reading your comments and how I am enjoying getting to know all of you through the comments. So again, lots and lots of still shots. I think sometimes it's hard to see the journaling and to see the close-ups of the embellishing going on because I do work on a double page spread simultaneously. So the camera has to be zoomed out quite a bit in order to get everything within the frame. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will be back again soon with a new layout or a new project life process, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Bye.